All right, today I get the pleasure of sitting with Seth from Seth's Bike Hacks. And Seth is a resident here in Florida, and I've had a lot of people on my channel want me and Seth to get together and do a video. So we got together here at Santos, and Seth did a lot of recording of suspension setup. So make sure you tune into his channel. And I'm sure most of my subscribers also subscribe to Seth's channel. But if you haven't, please go do that because his channel is awesome. And so we did a video today here at Santos, and I want to do another little interview because what's cool about Seth is we have completely different riding styles, but we're both very passionate about mountain biking, and of course we both have a YouTube channel. So I thought it'd be cool to sit down with him and get to know him a little bit here on my channel. So the first thing I want to ask you, Seth, is how'd you get into mountain biking?
I mean, I can't really remember a time when I wasn't into it. I mean, when I was really young, my dad just took me out on the mountain bike trails, and he wasn't into it or anything. We both had mountain bikes. That was just the type of bikes that we had. You know,
and that was up north, right?
That was up north. That was in
Okay.
New York, and on North Shore of Long Island. And I mean, maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong, but back in those days, when you would go to a store and buy a bike, it was a mountain bike.
Yeah.
Like, as far as I knew, it was a mountain bike. It was a fully rigid mountain bike. It was basically a road bike with big fat tires on it,
Right.
and you know, maybe a little wider handlebars. So we had mountain bikes. There were some trails nearby, and we just rode through them. And my dad's a pretty athletic guy, and I was a pretty athletic kid, so we just came naturally. And I didn't really know how serious people took it. I didn't know that how expensive bikes got, and that people did racing, that people made it their lives. I just thought it was an activity that you do. Like, you go to the beach and go swimming. Like, you
Right.
go to the trails and go mountain biking. So it was just part of my life.
Now, so what was your riding style growing up? What kind of riding did you mainly do?
Well, when I started mountain biking, I mean, I just rode through the trails. I mean, I probably didn't even have a helmet on. But when I started developing a riding style was probably when I discovered BMX. Every bike I've ever owned, I've gone off a jumps with. You build a little ramp and you pile it up against some bricks. But then as I got older and I started seeing kids in the neighborhood with BMX bikes, and they started showing me videos and stuff like that, then I actually got a BMX. I think it was it's like a Bontrager, kind of like BMX race bike. And I started riding probably more street than anything else, because there's always something to ride. You ride to your friend's house, there's some stuff to jump off of on the way. You ride downtown, and there's the sidewalk, and there's the little driveways, the little things the little lips at the edge of the driveway.
Yeah.
So you launch off of each one and try and go down the next one. And I think that's how I started riding street, and the street became kind of my style of riding.
So now you've ended up in Florida.
Yeah.
How'd you get to Florida from up north?
I just wanted to be warm all the time. Like, honestly, and people don't believe me, like, oh, did you move here for work or something? I had been working from home, and I guess I got to the point where I didn't really need to visit clients. I was doing web development, and I said, oh, I'm just going to move down to Florida, and it's going to be warm out all the time, and I go to the beach, and I ride my bike around. And at the time, I wasn't really doing any mountain biking. I didn't even have a mountain bike. You know, I guess I had been out of it for some years. I had gone to college. I had gotten to a lot of different things. I mean, I was doing a lot of stuff on computers. I wasn't very active at the time. And I think it was in part that up in New York, the winters are really long. I mean, the winter starts in November and it ends in like April.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I moved down here to be more active and to ride my bike around. And I never thought I would start mountain biking down here, because you don't think of it as a place that you would mountain bike.
Yeah, so along those lines, how would you describe the mountain biking trails in Florida and the scene and all that?
Physically exhausting. I mean, you ride trails in other places, and there's usually a really long climb and then a really long descent. Here, you're constantly pedaling, and it's fun and it's challenging. And what we don't have in elevation, the builders make up for in technical challenges.
Yeah.
And I think the fact that, and a lot of people hate on Florida because there is a lot of artificial stuff. There's rocks that were put there. There's wooden obstacles and drops and things like that. But for me, that's the stuff that I like most because I come from BMX. I ride street and skate park and stuff.
Yeah.
So I actually really love the riding here.
Yeah, and that's what's cool about the location we're at now is there's so much. In fact, I filmed some guys doing some dirt jumps that I'm going to put on my channel. But you've got really long cross country. I mean, you could do a 50-mile cross country loop here, and then you've got some technical stuff and jumps. So yeah, there's a lot of variety. So now, let's talk about your YouTube channel. So how did you get into making YouTube videos?
By accident. When I started the YouTube channel, the point was to try and review products and use affiliate links to make money, and I was inspired to do that by some of my clients that were doing it, and I set them up with everything, so I knew how it all worked.
Okay.
Basically, you show a product, you show how it works and everything, and then you leave a link in the description of where to get it, and then you get a tiny commission on that.
Right.
And you know, I didn't want to just push things on people, so I would review things that I already liked, that I already had. The D&M dropper post was the first one that I got. I got it, I tried it out, and then a year later I did or 6 months later I did like an update review, and those got a lot of action and they got a lot of clicks. It's still working to this day. I mean, it completely lived up to my expectations, and a lot of people have bought it. But I never thought that I would be able to make revenue off of YouTube videos because you just need so many views, and I didn't think there was any even slight possibility that was going to happen. And then it did. People started leaving comments like, "Oh, can you do a video, show us how to bunny hop," because they saw me bunny hop, or "Can you do a video, show us how to manual," because they see a manual. And I started making these videos not for the money, but I guess to get subscribers, and because I kind of liked doing it. And as it started to grow, it just came up with a mind of its own, and I started doing it for the sake of doing it. Like, I wasn't even thinking about the money. I didn't think there was even possible that I could make it a job. I just really liked doing it. I liked the fact that I could use bike riding and computers and editing and video, like all the things that I like doing combined.
Yeah, that's cool. So how do you get your ideas? I mean, you mentioned a little bit, but you know, now your channel's grown. It's a big channel. You've got a ton of videos, a lot of subscribers. How do you come up with your ideas?
I mean, this is all I think about. So I'm getting ideas every day, and I write them down in a little notepad on my phone.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll read the comments, and somebody will say something like the blinky light video is an idea from the comments. And
yeah, I do the same thing.
So sometimes it's from a suggestion, or sometimes it's just something that pops into my head.
Very cool. And so what kind of goes through your head? How do you get to your end result? In other words, you know, you make your videos, you've got an idea, and then to get to the final product, what's kind of going through your head as you're making your videos?
I go out and I get as much footage as I can. I already know what I'm going to make a video on when I go out to the trails. Sometimes I've even written the script because I record voiceovers.
Right.
So what I'll do is sometimes I'll write the script, I'll make a list of all the shots I would need to complete that video. I go out to the trails and I attempt to get all those shots. And then of course things never go as I plan them. So I rewrite the entire script to fit with those shots. However, the original script really, it gives me something to work off of.
Yeah.
And then by the time I've rewritten the script maybe 3 or 4 times, I do my voiceover, and then I lay all the clips over it. And if I like it, I post it.
Yeah.
So.
All right, very cool. Well, I really appreciate your time. You know, I respect your not only your riding style, but your channel. So it's really cool to see.
My pleasure.
Yeah, and it was fun riding with you today. So check out Seth's channel for the video that we made here at Santos on suspension design. And I think we're going to get out and ride some more.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I think so.
Let's do it.
All right.
All right. Thanks for watching.